Kyoto. Okay. Okay, shall we start? Carbon credit. Okay. Next development. Okay, so Kyoto entered into force in 2005 on target period to reduce the emission is 2008 to 2012, right? Then in 2009, okay, in 2009, 15th COP was scheduled in Copenhagen. Copenhagen. Okay. Copenhagen is the host city for 15th Conference of Parties. For which convention? UNFCCC. See, there was a problem in Copenhagen. What's the problem? The developed countries actually till 2009, if you take top 5 polluting states, first is United States, second is China, third is European Union, fourth India, fifth Russia. These are the top 5 polluting states till 2009. That is the emission of carbon dioxide. Only Shamim alone came with the video. What about others? Oh, thank you, Keshav. Thank you, thank you. Super. Thank you. See, in 2009, China became number 1 polluter in the world. Okay. So within the top 5, there are 2 developing states, and that too, one developing state is number 1 polluter. Okay. So what happened in 2009? Developed countries led by United States. US was not part of Kyoto, but it was part of UNFCCC. They left Kyoto in 2001. Okay. So developed countries led by United States, they demanded developing countries like India and China, other developing states, were demanded by developed countries to take responsibility same like developing states. Okay. So this was the demand. What responsibility? That is for emission reduction. Emission reduction. Why they demanded? It is very simple. See, one side, developed countries, they are reducing their emission. Okay, under Kyoto Protocol, one side, developed countries they started reducing this. But another side, developing countries are increasing their emission. Developing countries are increasing their emission. If this is continued, then there will not be any meaning for Kyoto Protocol, and there will not be any impact in the global atmosphere. So this is the reason for demand of developed countries, okay, for developing countries to reduce their emission. But developing countries, they refused to accept any targets. They refuse to take any responsibility. Why? It is very simple. See, the developed countries like US and the European countries, they polluted for more than 200 years. Okay. But the developing countries like India and China and all, they started their industrial development only just 40 to 50 years before. And these developed countries, they enjoyed all the economic benefits out of this fossil fuel. Okay, they got all kind of this one economic benefit. But developing countries, now only they started their economic development, their industrialization. So historically, who is having more responsibility means the developed countries. Next is the next reason why they refused means, first is historical, that is 200 years they polluted, more than 200 years. Next thing is, if you take China and India, and particularly India-like countries, in 2009 there was around 30% or close to 30% of population were living under poverty. To lift these 1/3 of population from out of poverty, the major source should be electricity. Okay, only by providing electricity you can give them opportunity like employment opportunity and skill development opportunity. For all the opportunities, you need electricity. So to produce affordable electricity, the only best option is coal-based thermal power stations, because that is the cheapest mode of energy production. So if we accept any commitment, okay, if developing countries are taking any commitment for emission reduction, then they cannot generate electricity, then they cannot lift 1/3 of population from out of poverty. This is second reason why they refused. Third reason is very simple. It is actually logically acceptable. That is, if you take United States, European Union one side, and India and other developing states another side, take India, the per capita emission in India, it was 1.4 metric ton per person per year. Okay, per capita carbon dioxide emission in India, it was 1.4 metric ton. In China, it was around 4.2 metric ton. Okay, global average was around 1.5 metric ton per person per year. Per person per year. Okay, India 1.4, China around 4 plus, world average close to it was 1.5. This was the per capita emission per year per person. And if you take United States and European Union, their per capita emission was more than 22 metric ton per person per year. Then think about the disparity in the energy consumption. Okay, between all these three, actually our energy consumption was well below world average and well below Chinese average. But why still India in the top 5 position means because of our population size. Only because of our population size we are among the top 5. Okay. But if you take US and Europe and all, their per capita emission was 22 metric ton. So what do you mean? India like countries and all, we are emitting carbon dioxide only for our survival, whereas US people and all, they are enjoying luxury lifestyle. They are following mass consumption pattern. That is the major reason for the highest level of per capita emission. Am I correct? Actually, this is scientifically given data, so they cannot dispute this. But even after this, the United States led. See, in Copenhagen, there was a rift between two group of countries, that is US-led developed countries and a group of countries called basic countries. They represented all developing states. These are the representatives of developing states. That is Brazil, South Africa, India, China. They are called basic countries. Brazil, South Africa, India and China. So argument between these two group of states. Two group of states. Okay. So the developed countries, they were very particular that developing countries should take responsibility same like developed countries. So finally, in the last stage of Copenhagen summit, an agreement was signed between USA and basic countries, that is called Copenhagen Accord. So Copenhagen Accord was signed in 2009, in which developing countries in principle, they accepted that they may consider taking responsibility of reducing emission after first phase of Kyoto. After first phase of Kyoto. So repeat per capita emission. See, per capita emission is in 2009, United States and European Union per capita emission, it was more than 22 metric tons. India, it was 1.4. So it is based on 2016 data. Okay, it is based on World Economic Forum. The data is saying that this is per capita emission. Actually, after 2009, US and all, they started reducing the per capita emission. Okay, I think it is visible. United States in 2016 it was 14 ton, Canada 14, South Korea 11, Russia 9, Japan 9, Germany 8, China 6.5 and India just 1.5. World average is 4.3. World average is 4.3. Okay. So this is World Bank data. So if you take based on this, India, actually China, based on World Bank data, Chinese 7.2. Actually, right now, Chinese per capita emission is 9 metric ton. In 2019 based data, 9 metric ton. In 2009, that per capita emission was 4.5. Within 10 years, their per capita emission doubled. But in India, it was 1.4. Now we have only 1.9. I will check with the World Bank data about India's thing. 1.8, actually 1.9 now. Based on 2019 data, 1.9. So our per capita emission is one among the lowest. Even Iran and all, they are 8.3 in 2016. Now they have crossed more than 9. Japan, actually Iranian per capita emission is more than Japan. Kazakhstan 13, Kuwait and all 25 because they are producing enormous amount of oil. Kuwait 25 per capita emission. Okay. So finally, Copenhagen Accord was signed in 2009 in Copenhagen Summit, in which it was agreed by developing countries that after first phase of Kyoto, they will take responsibility. So per capita emission also indicates level of development. Yes, Akash, definitely, but it is not absolute. Okay, so it is not always. So Copenhagen Accord was signed between two group of countries. One is developed countries led by United States and developing countries led by BASIC. So in which it was agreed that developing countries also will take responsibility after first phase of Kyoto. That is, first phase of Kyoto will be over by 2012. 2012. Next question is, sir, are per capita emissions related to development directly? With China having more per capita emission than before, can we conclude that they are developing rapidly? Yes, Chinese developments are always rapid, almost for 50 years. Since 1970, continuously for 50 years, they maintained almost double-digit growth. China is the only country to do this in the world. So that's the reason now they emerge as the second largest economy in the world. Okay. Then next. So this is the development in 2009 under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Then in 2010, 2011 and 2012, 3 years continuously, the COPs were conducted, in which in 2010, it was conducted in Durban, in which Green Climate Fund, the new funding mechanism for getting money from developed countries, was initiated, Green Climate Fund. Next, in 2011, it was actually Green Climate Fund was initiated in 10, accepted in 11 in Cancun. Then in 2012, Doha, it was implemented. Okay, Green Climate Fund. This is a funding mechanism for climate change. Okay. Then in 2012, in Doha, set of amendments were introduced. Amendments were introduced. That is called Doha Amendment. Doha Amendment was introduced to make amendments in Kyoto Protocol. So what are the amendments? That is the extension of Kyoto Protocol. Extension of Kyoto Protocol. For how many years? According to Doha Amendment proposal, Kyoto Protocol should be extended till end of 2020. Till end of 2020. Till end of 2020. Second is, under Kyoto Protocol, some more gases to be classified as greenhouse gases. Under Kyoto Protocol, according to Doha Amendment, some more gases to be classified as greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases. According to first phase of Kyoto, only 6 gases were classified as greenhouse. Yes. So these are the 6 greenhouse gases: carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, then HFC, hydrofluorocarbon, then perfluorocarbon, then sulfur hexafluoride. So these are the six greenhouse gases. And through amendment, they wanted to increase some more gases. Okay, actually water vapor also greenhouse gas, right? Okay. The next one, the another major provision of the amendment is the developed countries, they should take responsibility, more responsibility, that is more target. In the first phase of Kyoto, it was 5.1% of 1990 level. It has been increased to 18%. They should reduce to 18%, from 5.1% to 18%. So these are the amendments proposed in Doha. In Doha. But unfortunately, the Doha amendments were not materialized. So please tell me, Shruti Priya asked, please tell me first statement of Doha. So one is the extension of Kyoto Protocol, that is up to 2020. Next is inclusion of more number of gases. Next one is increasing the target for developed countries. So these are the amendments proposal. Okay. Then actually these amendments not materialized because of difference of opinion. Then in 2015, 21st COP was conducted in Paris. Paris Climate Summit was conducted. Paris Climate Summit was conducted. So please little bit slow. Can't able to take notes. Am I going fast? Okay, 2015 Paris Climate Summit was conducted. And in Paris Climate Summit, as you know, there was a historical development. Historical development. So what is that? That is, they signed Paris Climate Agreement or Paris Climate Deal. So what this Paris Climate Deal is saying? So instead of targeting only developed countries, Paris Climate Deal or Paris Climate Agreement is saying invariably all countries should take responsibility. All countries should take responsibility. Okay, all countries should take responsibility. This is first one. Both developing, least developed and developed all should take responsibility for reduction. For what? Actually, there is a target. That is, the international community, that is world countries, they should limit, okay, the global average temperature should not exceed either 2 degrees centigrade or 1.5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial level. Above pre-industrial level. That is, world countries should restrict, they should limit, world countries should limit global average temperature to, that is, it should not exceed 2.5 degrees centigrade or 2 degree or 1.5 degrees centigrade from pre-industrial level. Pre-industrial level. That is, pre-industrial level means before industrial revolution, that is before 250 years before, if the global average temperature was, say for example, if it was 18 degrees centigrade means, now by end of this century, by 21st century, we should not allow the global average temperature, we should not allow exceeding either 2 degree or 1.5 degree, that is either 20 degrees centigrade or 19.5 degrees centigrade. So we have to limit within this. We have to limit within this. So this is the target. This is the target. So later confusion came where to fix, whether that is either this one or this one, 1.5 or 2. Then the international scientist community, they mentioned that it is not 2 degree, it is 1.5. It is 1.5. If you cross 1.5, then there will be disastrous, irreversible environmental consequences. There will be disastrous effect. So whatever damages, environmental damages caused after 1.5 degree, it cannot be restored. It cannot be restored. So this is the final conclusion. So at present, that is in 2020, if you take the global average temperature when compared to pre-industrial revolution level, what is the average temperature means? We have increased, that is from pre-industrial level, we increased to 1.1 degree centigrade. 1.1 degree. So only 0.4 is remaining. Already I told you this yesterday. Only 0.4 is remaining. Only 0.4 degree is remaining. So probably in another 6 to 9 years, a maximum 11 years will be crucial. The international community should react, or they should take some concrete steps. Then only we can protect our nature, okay, our planet, not only this, our planet. Okay. So for that, what can be done? So one is, it should be limit to 1.5 degrees centigrade according to Paris. For that, what should be done means, all countries should take responsibility. Then all countries should declare their nationally determined contributions. How much they can contribute, that should be declared. All countries should declare their nationally determined contribution. How much or what are the contributions they can make, that should be declared. That is called NDC, nationally determined contribution. Nationally determined contribution. Okay. So this is the other main aspect of Paris climate deal. That is, it should be for all countries. It should be for all countries. All countries are voluntarily, that is, they are intended nationally determined contribution. So voluntarily, and they should update. Okay, what are the initiatives taken by the respective governments or countries in order to achieve this target? See, there will be one international registry in which all countries should inform. Peter? There are so many questions. Am I going fast? I'm getting comment like yes, sir. Oh, okay. I will slow down, no problem. So I thought of completing a climate change related environmental organization today itself. Okay, so we'll go slow. Okay, so again I will repeat regarding Paris Climate Agreement. The first point is, it is not developed countries alone, it is all the countries. All the countries, they should take responsibility. This is point number one. Second, the global average temperature should not exceed 1.5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial revolution level. Global average temperature should not exceed 1.5 degree from pre-industrial revolution level. Third one, for achieving this, okay, individually all countries should take measures voluntarily. That is, they are intended to determine, okay, intended, they are determined to contribute. Nationally they can contribute. So that is called intended nationally determined contribution. Intended nationally determined contribution. Okay. So that is called INDC. So these are the few major aspects of Paris climate deal. From this deal, who came out? Mr. Trump. In 2015, it was signed, 15 December, and 16 December he declared. Okay, 16 only he came to power. Dear friends, my kind request, please go through this document. This document is about India's initiatives for addressing climate change. Very, very, very useful document for your mains. Most potential area. Okay, please go through this. And there are so many informations are given. Okay, national circumstances. So from here it is very important. See, for example, it may also, actually in Copenhagen we argued, no, actually to lift our people from out of poverty we need electricity and we need fossil fuel. Okay, see, it is government itself mentioned, it may also, okay, it may also be noted that no country in the world has been able to achieve a human development index of 0.9. Actually, right now India's human index value is 0.58 something. Not here, 0.8586 or more without. Okay, human index of 0.9. 0.9 means it is like well developed country. So that is, it may be noted that no country in the world has been able to achieve human development index of 0.9 or more without an annual energy availability of at least 4 ton of equivalent oil. Okay, 4 tons of oil equivalent energy per capita. Then only it is possible to achieve this. Actually, this is a famous statement. You can take it. You can use it in your mains, even in your interview also. So if you want, you text me in Telegram. I will share this year's interview transcripts. Okay. So if you want to, if you are eager to see the interview questions, so you text me in Telegram. I will share it. Okay. See, this is really very good document. There are some factual informations are given. Very, very useful. This is actually government document only. It takes maximum 1 hour to complete this. Just read this. So what are the initiatives taken by Government of India for addressing climate change means? Say for example, National Environment Policy 2006. This is very important policy. Then this is another important policy. That is the National Action Plan on Climate Change. National Action Plan on Climate Change. Very, 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 very important. NAPCC. Actually, it was initiated in 2008. It was implemented in 2008 through 8 national missions. I will explain about NAPCC later. Then what are the other initiative means? State Action Plan on Climate Change. Then Energy Conservation Act. It is also passed. If energy is conserved, it is equal to double the production of energy. Okay. That is the purpose of this. Next, National Policy for Farmers, that is focusing on sustainable development of agriculture. The National Electricity Policy. Next is Integrated Energy Policy. Okay. There are so many initiatives taken by Indian government for achieving this. Okay, please go through this. Very, very, very important document. Which document? Revati, otherwise I will share this document in channel. Okay. No problem. Okay. Okay. Next. Yes. So this is called Paris Climate Deal. So now, after 2020, see actually Paris Climate Deal came into effect. The deal came into effect in 2016, and from 2020 onwards, they will start implementing their the contributions. Okay. Next. So this is all about United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So regarding UNFCCC, we started in 1992 Rio Summit, which was signed. In 1994, it was implemented. 1997 Kyoto, it was proposed, and in 2005 Kyoto was implemented. And according to Kyoto, there will be 3 category of countries: Annex 1, Annex 2, and non-annex countries, that is developing and least developed. And the targets were given only to Annex 1 countries, and Annex 2 countries should provide financial support. Then in 2008 to 2012, it was a target period. Then in 2009, Copenhagen Agreement was signed, in which both developed and developing agreed for reducing emission along with developing also agreed. And in 2012, because that is the end of the first phase of Kyoto, so in Doha, an amendment was proposed to extend Kyoto, but it failed because of differences of opinion. And in 2015, this Paris Climate Agreement was signed, in which there are three major things. One is all countries will take responsibility, then global average temperature should be restricted to 1.5 degree above pre-industrial level. Then finally, there should be INDC, that is nationally determined contributions. So this is very briefly about UNFCCC. Then the next major outcome of Rio Summit is CBD. Very, very important. CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. Convention on Biological Diversity. Why we need an international agreement to protect biodiversity? Why we need to protect biodiversity? Any idea? What are the reasons for protection of? Sorry, you missed Durban Agreement. Yes, Durban for Green Climate Fund. So, yes, the lockdown reduced global temperature as mentioned in the news channel before. Not that much. Okay. Ecological balance, stability, better life, delegate balance for ecological balance to maintain ecological balance, threat to food chain system, food web, sustainable development, to stop extinction of species, ecological balance. Lives are interconnected. Okay. For coexistence of food life. Okay. Super. Thank you. See, without environment, we can't live. Yes, Revati. To prevent, Shruti is saying to prevent extinction of species. Yes. To maintain the protected area and corridors. Wow. Oil spill on ocean is reduced biolife and also not taken care of at first due to the CBD. Ensure biosafety. Thank you. Okay. See, say for example, if you take India, India is home to hundreds of thousands of species of plants and animals. Due to all human activities, human actions, if there is a threat to the diversity of species, ultimately who is going to affect? Definitely natural environment, and finally it will affect human also. Human actions will affect human also. So in 1992, particularly in the context of climate change and due to habitat destruction, they wanted to protect biological diversity. And in order to this, a convention was signed in Rio Summit 1992. Since this is the convention, there was no much major outcomes or major changes, okay, across the world. Then what happened in the year 2000? Actually, there are three. Please note it down. There are three objectives of CBD. There are three objectives. First is conservation of biodiversity. First is conservation of biodiversity. Second one, sustainable use of its components. First is conservation of biodiversity, first objective. Second is sustainable use of its components. Sustainable use of its components. Third one, equitable sharing of benefits. Equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. Equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. Genetic resources. Okay. So, in in the year 2000, under CBD, a protocol was signed. Okay, a protocol was signed that is called Cartagena Protocol. Cartagena Protocol. A protocol was signed that is called Cartagena. Okay. See, Cartagena is a place in Colombia where this protocol was finalized in the year 2000 and it was implemented in 2003. Cartagena was implemented in 2003. Okay. The purpose of Cartagena is to ensure biosafety. Purpose of Cartagena is to ensure biosafety. How? Say for example, if you introduce any genetically modified organisms into natural environment, okay, there may be negative consequences. There may be negative impact on environment. So, for example, first time the BT cotton was introduced in India by Monsanto, so many reports that the cotton leaves were consumed by cattle. So, cattle consumed these cotton leaves for the BT cotton. Most of the cattle died. Okay, so there are so many reports. Okay, 10 years back. This is the situation previously. Now I don't know what's happening. See, not only BT cotton, if you take any genetically modified organisms, or genetically modified or living organisms, there may be some negative consequences in environment. So, in order to protect this, in order to avoid this, certain guidelines or regulatory mechanisms were given under this Cartagena Protocol. Okay. Regulatory mechanisms. So, for example, if you are introducing GM crop or living modified organisms, there are some regulatory mechanisms or some guidelines are given. So, if you follow that, there will not be negative consequences. So, ultimately, it aimed at biosafety, safety of biological diversity. Safety is first motto. Biological diversity, safety is very important. Okay, so that is called Cartagena Protocol. Cartagena Protocol for biosafety. So actually, not only BT cotton. Say for example, in India we have BT mustard also recently, and previously BT brinjal also tried, but due to continuous opposition from various groups and from public, BT brinjal project was stopped. See, why? See, there is an image that only genetically modified crops can be solution for food security. Okay, why they targeted mustard and brinjal means mustard and brinjal, for example, among all the vegetables, brinjal is the only vegetable which is used from Kanyakumari to Kashmir in all religious households. Okay, mostly, that is abundantly. So that's the reason they took. See, it is purely commercial interest. Okay, so there are some criticism against GM crops. So I don't know to what extent it is true, but logically, if you think it may be true, that is, say for example, in India, BT cotton was introduced, a US-based company, Monsanto. Now Monsanto is taken over by another German company, Bayer. Okay, just to Google it, German company, German chemical company, Bayer, they purchased this Monsanto. Okay, they integrated amalgamation. Okay, See what happened, the Bayer is responsible for HIV pandemic in South Africa, entire Africa. You go and check it in Google. Only Bayer is responsible. And this one, Monsanto, it was the only company which was allowed in India to sell genetically modified cotton. Okay, and there again they tried to introduce genetically modified brinjal, and now we have introduced genetically modified mustard. So why this is happening means it is very simple. See, just imagine over a period of time, if all vegetables and all crops are genetically modified, once if it is modified, it will be patented by particular company. And if you want to get seed, you have to get seed only from that company. And why you have to force like that situation means very simple. Generally, if you use traditional seeds, okay, always the natural traditional seeds, from your own crop, you can get the seeds for next sowing season. You can gather seeds from your own field. Whereas the genetically modified crops will come with terminator gene. If you take these seeds of genetically modified crop, it will not germinate. Okay. So it will come with the terminator gene. Terminator gene means it can be used only one time. You cannot take the same seed for sowing purpose. So every time you should depend on them. So in this situation, what will happen? Every time, for every sowing season, you should depend on them. At one point of time, from United States, they will control or they will decide what Indians should eat, what Indians should not eat. Because you will be forced to get seeds only from US companies. So this will be the situation. So that's the reason the environmental groups are fighting. Not only environmental consequences, even there is a politics, there is a business lobby behind this. See, to say like this or to talk like this, I'm not from any movement or any communist party or like that. Okay, so I'm a common man. With the common logic only I'm saying. Okay, so that is the purpose of Cartagena Protocol, which was signed in 2000 and implemented in 2003. And India has accepted both CBD as well as Cartagena. CBD as well as Cartagena. And that's the reason in 2002, India, okay, enacted Biodiversity Act. India enacted Biodiversity Act. So yesterday, the Hindu, Ms. Sujata Bhairavan, has described essay on impact of BT cotton. Okay, I will read it. See, actually, GM mustard introduced for commercial purpose till now. So not introduced for commercial purpose till now. Yes, actually, only I think our own universities developed this genetically modified mustard, but not yet allowed for this one commercial purpose. But it is allowed for developing. Okay. Okay. Next. So India enacted an act called Biodiversity Conservation Act. Not only that, under this act, National Biodiversity Authority was established in 2003. National Biodiversity Authority was established in 2003. So these are the measures in line with the CBD we took. Okay, because India is party to both CBD as well as Cartagena. Yes, Delhi University, exactly. Oh, super. Okay, next. See, through Cartagena Protocol, they tried to achieve first two objectives of CBD. So what are the first two objectives? One is conservation of biodiversity. So through Cartagena, they can conserve. Next one is sustainable use of its components. Okay. Then, what is the third objective? That is equitable sharing of benefits from arising from genetic resources. Say for example, if you take India, okay, we have hundreds of thousands of medicinal plants. Okay, the Western pharmaceutical companies, we have, first one is we have medicinal plants, and our tribal communities, they have medicinal knowledge also, traditional knowledge, medical traditional knowledge. We have both. Okay, so what I know is, for example, in Tamil Nadu, there are a few tribal communities like Kanis and all. They are excellent in medical knowledge. Okay, so they are using the local varieties of plants to cure all their disease. They are not coming out. So till almost 2000, 2005, the Kani tribes, they were one among the primitive tribe. Primitive tribe means like the Andaman group of island tribal communities, like sentinels. They are completely isolated from mainstream society. They are completely isolated. They will not come and they will not connect with mainstream society. They followed primitive lifestyle. That is whatever we followed 1000 or 2000 years before. Okay, so Kanis were like that, and they are well and good in medical knowledge. But in 1980s itself, some of the people, they entered into tribal settlements. They started gathering the medical knowledge of tribal people. Now it has been materialized in the form of pharmaceutical companies. Okay, leave it. See, the third objective of CBD is equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. Genetic resources means like these genes, gene properties can be taken by any company for making drugs or medicines, and through which they can earn huge amount of profit. So that is appropriation of genetic resources. Appropriation of genetic resources. If it is not checked, if it is not controlled, at one point of time, particular species of plant will become extinct because of continuous exploitation. See, I can give you some examples of biopiracy. What do you mean by biopiracy? Actually, biopiracy is the biggest problem. That is the illegal appropriation of life, that is microorganisms, plants and animals, including human means. There is a traditional knowledge, okay, and the traditional knowledge that accompanies it. That is illegally appropriation. What do you mean illegally appropriation? See, without sharing benefits of particular microorganisms or plants or animals or traditional knowledge, without sharing their benefit with respect to local community or local government, that is called biopiracy. Okay, taking genetic resources for commercial purpose without sharing their benefit, that is called biopiracy. Any example for biopiracy? Any example? Biopiracy. There are some examples. Eviction of tribes from mining. Yeah. No, biopiracy. Snickers chocolate. How? Someone from Trichy is saying Snickers chocolate. Cloning. Superb. From Adayar, someone texted turmeric neem from India to USA. Exactly, Basmati. Yes. See, one US company, actually it was taken by Indian only. Okay, 1995, I think, I'm not sure about year. What happened? See, traditionally we have a knowledge like turmeric will be applied on wounds. Okay, wherever you have wounds, for healing of wounds, we used to use this turmeric because it is a natural one and it will heal all wounds. Okay, it is antiseptic, right? This was patented by US company. Actually, US is not at all producing turmeric, and they don't have any traditional knowledge of turmeric, they got patent. Once if it is patented, every time when we are using, we have to make payment for them. It was patented. But after long legal battle, actually we showed all our traditional knowledge proof with ancient literature and all. With that, we proved that this is our traditional knowledge. After that, the patent was quashed. Next one, neem oil. Our farmers for thousands of years, we are using neem oil in agriculture field as a natural fungicide and insecticide, okay, or as a pesticide. But it was patented by a US company in Europe. That is, the extraction of neem oil has been patented. Now again, after long legal battle, we won that case. Okay, once if it is patented, we have to make payment. Okay, so this is the case. So finally, we won that case. And again, Basmati also. There are so many cases of the biopiracy, particularly Western countries. And a world classic example is one US company, they took sweet berry of West Africa. Actually, in Western Africa and tropical region, there is a sweet berry. Just imagine that the sweet berry is 2000 times, not 1 or 2 times, 2000 times sweeter than normal refined sugar. Okay, that from that sweet berry, a gene was taken by US company and it was inserted in corn, that is maize. Okay, with that they started producing sweet corn. From sweet corn they got sugar, all kind of thing. Okay, that company earned billions of dollars, but that benefit was not shared with Western African nations. Okay, so this is called biopiracy. Now, under CBD, in 2010, another protocol was signed that is called Nagoya Protocol. Nagoya Protocol, which was signed in 2010. It was signed in 2010. So, that is, the purpose of Nagoya Protocol is for equitable sharing of benefits, arising from genetic resources, Okay. Sir, any update regarding offline class? God promise, I don't know. Basmati, neem, salt and charcoal in toothpaste. That is also traditional knowledge. So do you know, only after the introduction of the paste in India, toothpaste in India, the tooth problem, actually now 50% of Indians are having problem. 50%. Okay, that's the reason. See, I'm not against any business and all. Okay. Use of this anti-cancerous raw material from Africa to China. Sweet corn is an example of GMO. How is third CBD objective achieved? See, third objective of CBD is through Nagoya Protocol. The purpose of Nagoya Protocol is it will ensure that there will be equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. So, if you take any genetic resources, that is gene or traditional knowledge, whatever you are getting profit, it should be shared with either local government or local community. So, can you show biopiracy slide once more? This is biopiracy. So please have session about how to approach mains and answer writing. Yes, definitely we will do. You are asking, someone from Coimbatore asked about mains answer writing session. You are asking generally for entire general studies, or you are particularly asking for international organization? International organization we will do at the end of the course. Course in the sense, after completing all session, we will do. So at the end of class, discuss about classes changing during our semester exam. Generally for GS, okay, we will do. So next question, sustainable use of its component means like genes and species should be used sustainably. That is, you should not allow them for extinction. Okay, you have to protect it. Neem infused veg cleaner. Okay. Should we need to study the year also? Year you no need to mug up exact year. You should know tentatively when it happened. So when is Modern India mains answer review schedule? Next week definitely we will do. As all mentors are busy with the preliminary preparation, definitely we will do. I have asked our faculties to do mains paper correction. Sir, could SAS also be taken as biopiracy? Maybe, definitely. Okay. So this is all about biopiracy, and India is party to CBD, Cartagena and Nagoya. Nagoya was implemented in 2014. 2014. Okay. So accordingly, India enacted Biodiversity Conservation Act and National Biodiversity Authority also. Okay. Next. Next is, so whatever we discussed, all are related to 1992 Rio Summit. Only in Rio Summit, UNFCCC was signed and it was implemented in 1994 under UNFCCC Kyoto, under UNFCCC Green Climate Fund, under UNFCCC Copenhagen Accord, under UNFCCC Doha Amendment, under UNFCCC Paris Climate Deal. Okay, all whatever we discussed, all are under UNFCCC. Then another major convention is CBD. So Convention on Biological Diversity, that is also outcome of Rio Summit. Okay. Next, that is in 1992. So under CBD, we have discussed about two protocols briefly. One is Cartagena, next one Nagoya. Both are related to conservation of biodiversity. Next, another important convention which was discussed, not signed, discussed is United Nations Convention on Combating Desertification, UNCCD. Okay, this was finally materialized only in 1994. Regarding that, separately we will discuss. Okay. Actually, originally it was initiated in 1976, I think, 77. Okay. But only 1994 it materialized. That is combating desertification. Then what happened in 2002 to review, actually 1992 summit was conducted to review this Stockholm conference. Now in 2002 another summit was conducted to review Rio conference. So it is called Rio plus 10. Rio plus 10. So Rio plus 10 conference was conducted in Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg, South Africa. Rio plus 10 conference was conducted in Johannesburg, South Africa. As you know, in 1987 itself, the concept of sustainable development was proposed. 1987 itself, concept of sustainable development was proposed by whom? Bretton Woods Commission. Bretton Woods Commission. That already we discussed. Okay. Then in 2002 only, United Nations, only in 2002, United Nations declared the concept of sustainable development. In 2002, there was a declaration on concept of sustainable development. So that's the only major development of Rio Plus 10 summit. So that's the reason the 2002 summit is called as World Summit on Sustainable Development. So before 2002, no UN summits were called as summits on sustainable development. Only in 2002, first time it is called as Summit on Sustainable Development. Okay. Then again in 2012, Rio Plus 20 summit was conducted. Rio Plus 20, which was conducted at Rio. Again at Rio conference. Okay. The major outcome of Rio Plus 20 summit is, there are two major outcomes. First one is the proposal of Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. Very important. Proposal of Sustainable Development Goals. Proposal of Sustainable Development Goals. Next, okay. Next is proposal of green economy policies. Proposal of green economy policies. So these are the two major outcomes of Rio Plus 20 summit, which was conducted again at Rio. See, very important 2012 summit. Okay. See, what happened in the year 2000, there was a celebration in United Nations General Assembly, that is Millennium Year celebration. In the year 2000, there was a Millennium Year celebration. And for that, a special session was conducted in General Assembly. And during that year, that is in 2000, the United Nations, they realized that there are some lack of development in developing states and least developed states. So there should be proper, in entire world there should be uniform development. So to achieve this, in order to achieve this, during Millennium Year, a set of socio-economic development goals were declared. They are called Millennium Development Goals. Millennium Development Goals. Very important. So previously, we used to read about Millennium Development Goals, MDG. Totally 7 goals were declared. In the year 2000, 7 goals were declared. Okay. All these 7 goals are socio-economic developmental goals. All the goals are socio-economic developmental goals. According to United Nations target, all these goals to be achieved by end of 2015. All Millennium Development Goals to be achieved by end of 2015. End of 2015. Okay. See, what happened? There are 8 goals. Just for understanding, I will tell you. If you want, you can note it down. Otherwise, no problem. The first goal is eradication of extreme hunger and poverty. First goal is eradication of extreme hunger and poverty. This is the first. Eradication of extreme hunger and poverty. Second one is universalization of primary education. Universalization of primary education. Third one, reduce child mortality. So that is one is called IMR. Next one called neonatal mortality rate, MMR. Next one is called under 5 mortality. So all child mortality rates to be reduced. That is third. Fourth one, ensure gender equality. Ensure gender equality. What do you mean gender equality means? That is particularly in non-agriculture economic activities, participation of women should be equal. Since women are illiterate, mainly they are employed only in agriculture sector. So now United Nations is saying that women should be educated, then they should be employed in non-agriculture sector, particularly in secondary and tertiary sector, like manufacturing industries and service sector. That is called ensure gender equality. Next is ensure maternal health. Next is ensure maternal health. Maternal health means during delivery there are so many deaths, maternal mortality rates. So that maternal mortality rate should be reduced. Next one is combat HIV, AIDS, malaria and other disease. Combat HIV, AIDS, malaria and other disease. Next one is ensure environment sustainability. Ensure environment sustainability. Okay. Totally how many came? So someone texted like high-level political forum is established as a sub-organ of UNGA and EOSR. So what is objective of 2012 conference? Objective of 2012 conference is, one is proposal of SDG, second one is proposal of green economic policy. So totally 7 goals. 8th goal is develop a global partnership for development. Develop a global partnership for development. Develop a global partnership for development. So these are the 8 Millennium Development Goals. Now all these goals to be achieved, by 2015. 2015. So for example, if you take India in 2010 and all, in a review report, the United Nations concluded that there is no uniform achievement. For example, if you take India, India achieved very well in only few goals, like education, our achievement was great, and in medical related goals, okay, the health related goals, only one we achieved, that is with respect to child mortality, but others we have not achieved much. And so if you take overall achievement of India, it was partial achievement, okay, and there was no uniform achievement also. So what happened? In 2010 itself, United Nations concluded that there is no uniform achievement of Millennium Development Goal. Okay, and particularly with respect to first goal and all, we achieved perfectly. Actually, according to MDG, in India, in 1990, the ratio of poverty was 46. By end of 2015, it should be reduced to 23. That is, the poverty should be reduced to half. So actually, we reduced. Okay. So what is the mechanism we are following for estimation of poverty? Any idea? So all 7 goals are called as socio-economic development goals. Tendulkar Committee, HDI, subsidies and PDS, calorific, yes, purchasing power parity, income based. Yes, previously we had Suresh Tendulkar Committee, then Rangarajan Committee. Okay, there are so many committees. Then Dandewala Committee, 1979, I think. See, previously we had one methodology like based on calorific consumption. From 1979 to 2010, we calculated our poverty based on calorific consumption. If a person in urban area, if he is consume less than 2100 calories, then he will be categorized as he is living below poverty. Then if any person from rural area, if he is consuming less than 2700 calories, then he will be considered as he is living below poverty. So based on calorific values, but it was criticized by many scholars based on the availability of data. So it was changed with the new thing, the income based this one. So Suresh Tendulkar Committee, I think 2010, they defined poverty in such a way that if anyone in urban area spending more than around 900 something rupees, around 950 rupees per month to meet his basic needs, he will be considered he is living above poverty. That is 950 in 2010, I am saying. Around 700 something, 700 rupees in rural area, if he is spending for a month to meet his basic needs, he will be considered above poverty line. So this was the situation, and based on this only, in 2011, Government of India claimed that in India we have only 21% of people under poverty. But real poverty is, it is more than 30%. Okay, leave it. These are controversies. Okay, always the estimation of poverty and the estimation of GDP will be controversy. Okay, so in 2012, they realized that there is no uniform achievement of MDG. So in the place of MDG, SDGs were proposed in 2012 Rio Plus 20 Summit. Rio Plus 20 Summit. And in the place of 8 Millennium Development Goals, now we have 17 Millennium Development Goals. Sorry, 17 Sustainable Development Goals. 17 Sustainable Development Goals. India has achieved best poverty reduction from hundreds to 62 as per UNDP multi-dimensional. Yes, yes, true, true. See, what I mentioned is there may be some discrepancies in government data. Okay, so some scholars are saying that if you take the relative poverty, okay, it is high in India. Okay, so in this context, now you should know about one important document. Please read it. See, with respect to sustainable development, you may have question. Okay, there are 3 aspects. One is what are the 17 SDGs. Then what are the targets given to India, and what are the initiatives taken by Government of India to achieve all these targets. Then what is the present situation. So these things definitely you should know. So please go through this report whenever you have time. So you can get so many points for your main examination. Really, from this you can get so many points for your mains. என்ன இன்டர்நெட் வர மாட்டேங்குது. Yes, this one. ஏன் இவ்வளோ ஸ்லோவாக இருக்கு? Okay, it is not opening. I want to highlight some of the points. வேற டேப்லையா? கொஞ்ச நேரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி நான் செக் பண்ணப்போ ஓப்பன் ஆச்சே. அதே தான் போகுது. இது எப்போ ஓப்பன் ஆகுது? அவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் சொல்லலான்னு பார்க்குறேன். Okay, it is not opening. Okay, if possible, I will share in Telegram. Okay, so the Sustainable Development Goals were proposed in 2012 on green economic policies. Okay, then the next development is in 2015. 2015. So these are the major developments in 2012, that is Rio Plus 20 Summit. Then in 2015, the development was, that is the declaration of SDGs. So please go through what are the 17 SDGs and what are the targets given to India, and what are the initiatives taken by Government of India, and what is the present situation. And the state-wise comparison also important. Sometimes that data can be used in your main examination. Okay. So this is briefly about major environmental summits under United Nations and their outcomes. So we started with 1972 Stockholm Conference that resulted in establishment of UNEP. So under UNEP 1980s, Vienna Convention was signed because the first major environmental problem was ozone depletion. Then under Vienna Convention, Montreal was signed. So briefly we will summarize. Then in 1987, the concept of sustainable development was given by Brundtland Commission, and in the title of Our Common Future. Next, in 1992, Rio Summit, that is 20 years after Stockholm Conference. It was the milestone event in which two conventions were signed. One is UNFCCC, next one CBD. Another convention was negotiated, that is UNCCD, and under UNFCCC, 1994 it entered into force. 1997 Kyoto entered into force in 2005. Targeted period from 2008 to 2012. Then under UNFCCC, Copenhagen Accord was signed, in which developing countries also agreed for taking responsibility after 2012. And in 2012, Doha Amendment was introduced, and in which Kyoto was requested to extend, but it was not happened. Then in 2015, Paris Climate Deal, in which the world countries have agreed for limiting the global average temperature to 5.1% of pre-industrial level. The next development was INDC in Paris Climate Deal. Okay. Then other major development is CBD. So in CBD, we discussed about Cartagena Protocol for biosafety, which was signed in 2000, entered into force in 2003. And next one is Nagoya, that is for prevention of biopiracy, that is sharing equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. Then next we discussed about 2002 summit, that is Johannesburg summit. The major outcome is the declaration of concept of sustainable development. Then in 2012, Rio Plus 20 summit, which was conducted in Rio again, and the outcome is the proposal, not declaration, proposal of SDG in the place of MDG, and another one is green economic policies. Okay. Then in 2015, this developmental agenda was announced, that is post 2015 development agenda was announced, and with that the SDGs were declared. Okay. So this is very brief history of UN Environment Summits. Okay. Any doubt regarding this? $45 MB size, sir. Maybe that's why slow. Okay, thank you. So who introduced the concept of SDG? Brundtland report. No. SDG. See, sustainable development concept is given by Brundtland. Based on the sustainable development, some socio-economic developmental goals were given, that is in 2012. Sir, can mention what we have go through SDG. Okay, actually it is not downloading. I thought of taking 10 minutes to highlight all the points because the recent document 2019-20. So what was the Delhi Declaration and Katowice Protocol? See, there is no major outcome of Katowice. Okay, it happened in 2018. Still US party to UNFCCC, yes. Sir, Agenda 21 is under Rio Summit or not? Yes, it is under Rio Summit only. Sorry, I forgot to mention about that. Sir, can you repeat UN SDG again in 2015? So in 2015, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals were declared as part of United Nations post 2015 development agenda. Development agenda. Yes, Shamim. Agenda 21 is part of Rio conference. So what about Bretton Woods that you said? Bretton Woods, okay. So where this Rio plus 10 took place? That is in Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg. So Bretton Woods conference, it was conducted in 1945. Okay. Through this Bretton Woods conference, two financial institutions were established. One is World Bank, next one International, this one IMF, Monetary Fund. Okay. So World Bank and International Monetary Fund, these two were established in 1945 through Bretton Woods conference. So that is the reason these two institutions are called Bretton Woods twins. Bretton Woods twins. Okay, World Bank and IMF are called Bretton Woods twins. Originally, along with World Bank and IMF, they planned to establish International Trade Organization, ITO. Originally, they planned for ITO. But due to lack of consensus among the participated members, the ITO was not declared, not materialized. Only World Bank and IMF was declared. Later, they established a regulatory mechanism for regulation of world trade, that finally it became of a final shape in 1995 in the name of World Trade Organization. Okay. So this is the brief history. Okay, and if you read one book, I think most of you would have read one book, very, very interesting book. That is The Confessions of Economic Hitman. The Confessions of Economic Hitman, that is written by John Perkins. If you have time, okay, you read it, but don't develop any negative thought against government, particularly against West. Okay. It is really very good book to describe about how even government itself, they discussed about this. Indian government also, they discussed about that. That is the method of financing for developing states. Okay, the terms and conditions which is imposed by World Bank for giving finance, for providing financial support. Okay, morning also we were discussing about this for morning batch. So just briefly I will say about this. See what happened in this book. If you read this book, really it is very interesting. What they are saying is developing countries are exploited by World Bank and IMF. Okay, that is the core theme of this book. How they are exploited, that is the content of book. So for example, what they are saying is, if Indian government is planning for some mega infrastructure projects, not only India, if you take any developing state, if they are interested to have mega infrastructure projects, so what will happen generally? They cannot afford themselves. So what generally they will approach some international financial institutions or other countries. So for example, India planned for bullet train. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he actually planned for, this is a dream project, his dream project, bullet train. So for that he approached Japan government, not only for finance, both finance as well as technology support. Okay, so the cost of project is 1.5 lakh crore rupees, massive project. Okay, and Japan accepted for funding this project, and for that we have to make a loan repayment. The repayment tenure is 40 to 50 years, and the rate of interest will be 0.1%. Okay, and same like this, we are borrowing money from World Bank also. Till date, that is today, India is world largest borrower of World Bank, for borrowers from World Bank. Okay, so for all our it is there in World Bank website itself. India is the world largest borrower. Okay, So for all our this one, uh, our projects, developmental projects, we used to depend on World Bank and other assisting agencies. So what happened in actually in that book, it is elaborately discussed. So for example, if India, just imagine a situation, India is planning for some developmental project. Say for example, India is planning 3 airports, greenfield airports in Mumbai, Delhi and Kolkata, okay, and Chennai also, 4 airports, each at the cost of $4 billion. So totally we are planning for getting $16 billion, okay, from World Bank. So if you send your project report, detailed project report to World Bank is located in Washington, right? So they will circulate this report among the US companies who are all involved in the airport development business. If any company is ready for doing this business, then they will say okay to World Bank. World Bank will convey this message to India and in such a way that World Bank is ready for funding for your project. Once India is accepting this, then there will be conditions, regulations and conditions will be imposed on India. Terms and conditions. The first condition will be this project should be given to company X, which is there in US. Then the repayment tenure will be maybe 30 to 40 years or 50 years. And rate of interest will be normal commercial rate of interest. Okay. So this is the general terminologies, general terms and conditions. So once if you accept for that, and within 5 to 7 years, all projects will be over for $16 billion. Actually, this project opportunity will not be given to Indian companies, okay, unless otherwise they are not compromised by Indian companies. And for the $16 billion, we have to make in another 40 to 50 years, we have to make close to $50 billion loan repayment, almost threefold. So this is how they are exploiting. This is the theme of that book. Okay, so what he is saying that in the business negotiation, people from CIA will be associated. That is the External Intelligence Agency of United States. So if you take the World Bank history, since 1945 till date, only United States citizen can become president of World Bank. No one can become president. Even European citizen or Russian citizen cannot, even Chinese citizen cannot become president of World Bank. And always the IMF president will be European. So it is a convention, no one can break this. Even China cannot break this. Okay. And that's the reason China created their own bank, because they had bitter experience with this. So they created their own bank. Okay. Because they have money. And the CA people, they will negotiate with all the political leaders, including presidents and prime ministers of all the respective countries, to conclude this business agreement. So for example, if particular project is most favorable for them, and if political leadership is not ready for giving this project to Western companies, then probably if it is a democratic country, probably in the place of X, Y may be president or prime minister within next few days or few weeks. That is possible in democracy. Okay, and in case if the entire political party is not supporting this, then probably in another 6 months there may be election. Okay, all of a sudden the party will be divided into two, and there may be election, and the new party will come to power. They will sign this agreement. So to that extent they can influence. That's the reason they are called economic hitman. Okay, so to do business like this, they have eliminated so many leaders. Okay, whoever considers charismatic leader in emerging democratic countries, all charismatic leaders were eliminated carefully. Okay, for example, Saddam Hussein was eliminated. In India, we lost 2 leaders. For example, if you take the CBI officer who investigated Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, openly he declared that even though LTT is direct reason, but who operated LTT means only West. Okay, so again I am saying not from any movement or any particular group. I am saying whatever I read somewhere. Okay, I am not against any country. And go and check on all books, you can get all the details. Okay, only through books you can get detail. Okay, not from social media. If you want to enlighten yourself, better you read books. Okay, please don't spend time in social media. And see, openly they declare that they have eliminated so many. So, for example, what happened when US requested a tablet from India. So, if you are not provide tablet for this corona, they told like Trump told us like we have to face severe consequence. Openly they threatened. Okay, so but no option because we totally inclined with them, we joined with them. Then we have to accept their conditions. And you won't believe in 1960s and all, it was the peak time of Cold War. See, Dag Hammarskjöld, he was the Secretary General of United Nations. Secretary General of United Nations. He was a straightforward officer, youngest Secretary General of United Nations. And there was a problem in Congo. Congo was world famous for rare earth minerals, which was used in electronic industries. It was the time of electronic industry boom. So for that to capture resources, there was conflict between Western countries and communist countries. So there was a civil war in Congo that led to killing of millions of people. So in this situation, Dag Hammarskjöld, then Secretary General of United Nations, he was negotiating with all the stakeholders. During his negotiation, he got some commands from West. You have to act accordingly. But he refused to accept that commands. You won't believe in 1960, Dag Hammarskjöld was killed in air crash. Air crash is the best way of elimination of leaders. Best example for eliminating leaders, air crash, because there will not be any evidence. Okay, so many leaders were eliminated simply by air crash. For example, when India started full-fledgedly, when India started nuclear weapon program, Homi Baba, our father of nuclear weapon program, was killed in air crash. Because Western countries, they don't want to see India as a nuclear weapon state. So I'm not lying. Okay, your okay. So Dag Hammarskjöld said murdered. CIA, they themselves. Actually, both they blamed each, but it is uh, mentioned like he refused to accept the commands of West, so that he was killed. 1961. See, if time permits, you go through this, you'll get idea. Okay, someone asked a question about Bretton Woods conference, then we deviated completely. Next, hydroxychloro, Queen. Okay, Congo crisis, Cuban Missile crisis. Sanjay Gandhi, yeah. Sanjay Gandhi. I don't know about the fate of Sanjay Gandhi exactly. Okay, repeat the book name. Book name is The Confessions of Economic Hitman. So when is the break for semester exam? Please tell me, Varun, when is your semester? Subhash Chandra Bose also killed in air crash. Okay. Okay, leave it. So we'll come to subject. See, Actually, we have completed just only 1/4 of environmental organizations or 1/5. There are so many. We will discuss one by one. So first, we will see how UPSC is asking questions from international organizations so that you will get idea and accordingly you can prepare. So, for example, third one, the Fortaleza Declaration recently in the news is related to. So, this is the first level of questions. Simply, they will ask what is what. Okay. Fortaleza Declaration. See, Fortaleza is a city in Brazil where a group of countries declared for establishing a new bank called New Development Bank. So, who declared means the members of BRICS. Okay, so it is related to BRICS. These type of questions are very common. Minimum one, maximum 2-3 questions compulsorily you will get it. That is reports and indices. Reports and indices. See, very important topic in international organization. Don't worry, we will give you a list of reports and indices. If any report is or index is very important, then they will ask what are the highlights of the report. Okay, otherwise simply they will ask who prepared this report. That's all. Okay. So for example, so most of the questions will be from newspaper only, like this. The agreement on agriculture, agreement on the application of sanitary and phytosanitary measures. The peace clause appeared in news recently or frequently. It is related to what? So all are related to World Trade Organization. Okay. Agreement on agriculture and all. Can you answer this question? 43. What is answer for that? A wa. Archana is saying A. Someone from Trivandrum A. Akash is saying A. From someone from Trichy. Wow. Superb. So Rio Plus 20 conference, that is United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. Okay, that was conducted in this. Question number 40. What is answer? Which one of the following is associated with the issue of control and phasing out of ozone depleting substances? Nagoya coming under Convention on Biological Diversity, Kyoto coming under UNFCCC, Bretton Woods Conference is for IMF and World Bank. Answer is Montreal. Superb. Wow. Okay. Next. So next is, say, for example, Green Climate Fund. So see, it will be very simple. Like, which of the following statements are correct with respect to Green Climate Fund? So it is intended to assist the developing countries in adoption and mitigation practice to counter climate change. See, there are 3 levels of question totally. One is basic level awareness. Okay, like the reports and indices. What is what like? Okay, generally whatever major reports or indices appear in newspaper or whatever organizations, simply they will ask what is what. Second one is the next level, that is some background information. Background information means, say for example, Green Climate Fund means when it was established, what are the purpose. The same, this is actually second level of question. And the third level of questions are like if you take any international organizations or treaties or conventions agreement, they will go to in depth and they will ask about their consequences also. Okay, the major. So out of 10 questions, only 1 or 2 will be in-depth questions. Remaining 7-8 questions will be either first level or second level. What is the answer for this question number 53? C. D. Intergovernmental agency cater to medical emergencies. No, Amnesty International is a global human rights movement. Global human rights movement. 53 answer is B. Bombay. Someone mentioned C also. I think they confused with the word non-governmental voluntary organization. It is non-governmental organization only, but it is for human rights protection, Amnesty. So this is actually first level of question. India is member of which of the following? Definitely we will know that. So in APEC we are not member, ASEAN also we are not member, only in East Asia Summit. So answer is 3 only. Next one is Mekong Ganga cooperation. Okay. So again, this is first level of question. Which of the following are members or not members? See, sometimes they will ask who are all members or who are all not members. That is also first level of question. Next, this is second level. With reference to Indian Ocean Rim Association for regional cooperation, consider the following. It was established very recently in response to incidents of piracy and accidents of oil spill. Actually, this Indian Ocean Rim Association was established during Nelson Mandela period, mainly for economic cooperation of all Indian Ocean states. That is the objective. It is an alliance meant for maritime security only. Wherever you find this word only in preliminary examination, you should be very careful. This is the most dangerous word. Okay. So wherever they are giving only, you have to think twice. This is not at all statement saying it is an alliance meant for maritime security only. No, this is for economic cooperation. And second one is, in the first statement, it was established very recently in response to incident, not very recently in 1994. Okay, just you should know tentatively when it was established, if you don't know exact year. Actually, this question since 2015 2-3 times repeated. Which one of the following countries of Southwest Asia does not open out to Mediterranean Sea? So, 88. What is answer? China, France, India, Israel, Pakistan. Which among the above are nuclear weapon states under NPT? Venkatesh is saying A. Rupesh is saying A. Option. Exactly. China, France. Shantanu, China, France. Superb. Exactly. Okay. So because only these two are recognized as nuclear weapon states according to NPT, all three, even though they are nuclear weapon states, they are not party to NPT, so they are not recognized. This is 2016 question. Actually, in the recent past, only in 2016, we got more than 70 questions from current affairs, only 30 from conventional. If you take most of the questions, even from subject also, like economics, polity, and all, they asked which is in recently, like that. Even the polity, this question also, it was in news. The bills pending in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Okay. So, for example, this, which of the followings are indicator used by IFPRI to compute global hunger index? Index and reports are very common. Can you answer for sixth question? Archana saying B, Akshay also saying B, someone from random D. Oh, many are saying Delhi. Oh my God. Majority are saying Delhi. Kirti also saying Delhi. Others also saying Delhi. Sweta also saying Delhi. Venkatesh, Bombay. Someone from Delhi saying Bombay. Katia saying Bombay. Someone from Adyar saying combat climate change. See, clearly, I think today only we discussed. Probably around 11:45, 12 o'clock. But you forget at 1:15. Intended nationally determined contribution. This is part of Paris climate deal. Okay, according to Paris climate deal, all countries should take responsibility. So that is called nationally determined contribution. How much they can contribute, that should be informed to UNFCCC. So that is for what? That is to address climate change. Sustainable Development Goals, that is in 2012. Rio Plus 20 summit, it was proposed. In 2015, it was declared. Why confusion? You read question fully first. For example, 11th question. In the context of which of the following do you sometimes find the terms amber box, blue box, green box? All these three different boxes are related to agricultural subsidies. that is related to WTO. Developed countries are saying developing countries are giving more subsidies. Because of that, in international market, developed countries not able to sell their product due to price competitive. Developing countries are saying that no, developed countries are giving trillions of dollars of subsidies. Because of that, developing countries are suffering. So this is the basic conflict. Next, actually, we have not discussed about the UNFCCC. So there was a question, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Okay, we will discuss about UNFCCC probably next class. Next, with reference to Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, consider the following statement. Why this question was asked means, actually this organization was selected for Nobel Peace Prize in 2015. So this question was asked. Okay, it is Organization of European Union. No, it is under United Nations. And the second and third statements are correct. See, most of the questions, if you see, for example, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, that is also current affairs. Then which of the following best describes the term import cover, sometimes seen in news? Okay. Then this one also it was in news, like OPCW. And which of the following regions of India you are most likely to come across Great Indian Hornbill? That is also it was in current affairs. Then community sometimes mentioned in news in the affairs of Kurd. Actually, they are either Iraq or Syria. Madhesi is from Nepal. Rohingyas from Myanmar. So 1 is wrong, 2 and 3 are correct. That is also current affairs. Okay. Then again, National Ganga River Basin Authority, it was also current affairs. Then Stand Up India scheme, which was in news, that is also current affairs. Then FAO accords status of globally important agriculture heritage system. It was also news because globally there are certain agriculture, I think there are 11 or 12 agriculture systems. They are completely unique. For example, in Kerala, they have rice cultivation in a region called Kuttanad. What's the unique feature means? They are cultivating rice below mean sea level. Okay, so that Kuttanad rice cultivation got the globally important agriculture heritage system of FAO tag. Because of that, this was asked. Again, consider the statement about neem coated urea in agriculture. It is also in news. Okay, and come to this one. I think for this one you will answer 30th question. 30th question. Any idea? There's 3 in India: Kuttanad, Koraput, Kashmir. Koraput in the rice cultivation. So answer is 2 only, yeah. 3 only, yeah. Terms sometimes seen in news, their origin. Next one, countries. Actually, all these 3 terminologies are related to Kyoto Protocol. Okay, certified emission reduction related to carbon trade. Next one, countries. That is with the emission reduction target. Clean development mechanism as part of flexible mechanism of Kyoto Protocol. Okay, so all 3 are related to Kyoto, but only 3 is correctly matched. 1 only, sorry, 1 and 2 only, that is wrong. 2 and 3 only wrong. 3 only correct. Option is E. Oh my god. E only 4 options, not E. Okay. Let's say, for example, India's India's ranking in the ease of India's ranking in the ease of doing business index is sometimes seen in news. Which of the following has decreased rank? The index and reports very common. Can you answer this question? With reference to pre-packaged items in India, it is mandatory to manufacture to put which of the following information on the main label as per the Food Safety and Standards Packaging and Labeling Regulations 2011. Like biscuit packets, chips packet and all, what are the mandatory information? One is list of ingredients including additives, the nutrition information, the recommendations, if any, made by medical practitioner about possibility of any allergic reaction, and vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Among this, which of these to be mandatorily informed in packaged? 1 and 4, all are 2 and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. Archana is saying 1 and 2, 2 and 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, all 1 and 2 only, 1, 2, 4, all 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1 and 3. See, if you take any processed food item, if it is packed one, they should list out what are the ingredients. For example, if you take a chips packet, they will say the potato, then chili powder, then oil, then salt. Okay, so they will inform what are the ingredients. And if any preservatives included, for example, if you take all biscuits, they have given preservatives name. What are the artificial preservatives are included in all biscuits? Or all, not only biscuits, all food packaged items. 99% all food items will have preservatives. The nutrition information, yes, how much fat, how much calories, how much this one carbohydrate, okay, what are the vitamins available. So all the information will be given. Then recommendations, if any, made by the medical profession, means it is only for medicine, not for this one food items. Food items you will not have this one. Next one is vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Yes, there will be on green color round, no, the circle. So 1, 2, 4. Why this question was asked? Because in 2016, Maggi was banned. Okay, it became national issue. So in this context, this question was asked. Why Maggi was banned? Because as a common one, we know that because Maggi had high content of lead. Okay, high range of lead content. But only few people will know that Maggi was banned because Maggi was the monopoly leader in the noodles market. So our Babaji wanted to introduce his product, so it was banned. So accordingly, Babaji noodles entered into market, and then Maggi was allowed. Okay, then what are the? So this one actually it is already dead. The reference to Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement consists the following. It is an agreement among all the Pacific Rim countries except China and Russia. It is a strategic alliance for purpose of maritime security only. I think we have read the same statement in the last question, right? It is meant for our maritime security only. That is, we read for Indian Ocean Rim Association, right? Same statement given for Trans-Pacific also. Okay. So first is wrong, second also wrong, answer is D. Next again, India's Africa Summit. Actually, relations. Doctors Without Borders. That was in news because they were managing a hospital in Afghanistan, the war affected region, but mistakenly US US Air Force, they dropped bomb on that. So that killed hundreds of people. So it was in news. Can you answer this that we discussed? Answer is Agenda 21, sometimes seen in news, the following statement. So it is the Global Action Plan for Sustainable Development. It originated in the World Summit on Sustainable Development held in Johannesburg in 2002. Actually, Agenda 21, that is the outcome of which summit? Rio Summit. Okay, and it is the global level action plan for 3 levels of action plan for sustainable development. So first is correct, second is wrong. Can we have question session like this for every class at the end? See, first we have to complete syllabus. See, just I wanted to, because you should not feel like I'm talking some irrelevant things. Okay, so that's the reason yesterday someone texted me. That's the reason I'm showing this, because we have not completed all the topics. We'll complete, then you will have this. And already we have taken the past 10 years of modern India question paper from UPSC. So you will have an exclusive session for discussion of previous year modern India. Okay. So if you find this is useful, we can continue for other subjects also. For example, 67. This is also international organization. Consider the following statement. The New Development Bank has been set up by APEC. The headquarters of New Development Bank is in Shanghai. So New Development Bank, just now I told you, it was established by BRICS in 2000, after 2015 Fortaleza Declaration. Okay, and its headquarters in Shanghai. That is true. So this is actually first level of question. Again, this is another first level of question. Which of the following not member of Gulf Cooperation Council? In Gulf Cooperation Council, all Sunni countries are members. So among these, who is Shia? That is Iran. So simply you can take. Next, Belt and Road Initiative sometimes mentioned in news. So that is related to China. Next one, Global Financial Stability Report. So reports and indices, again I'm saying, please go through that. Whatever reports and indices you are getting from newspaper, please go through at least 1 or 2 times. This one, this is also first level of question. The term Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership often appear in news in the context of. So recently India came out of this RCEP. So RCEP is related to ASEAN plus 6 countries. Okay, it is related to ASEAN. Then International Solar Alliance. Then European Stability Mechanism. All are either international organizations or current affairs. Totally around 27 questions are asked from international organizations, including environmental organization in 2016. Can you answer this 98? Yesterday only we discussed, I think. 98th question. The Sustainable Development Goals were first proposed in 1972 by a global think tank called Club of Rome. Second one, Sustainable Development Goals have to be achieved by 2030. Answer is 1 is wrong. Okay. 2 only correct. Shantanu is saying 2 only correct. Lokesh saying 2 only correct. Revati saying 1 only correct. Both are correct. 1 is wrong. Anaka is saying 1 is wrong. 2 only. Both wrong. Shiva is saying both wrong. Keshav is saying 2 only correct. Oh my God. See, I told you, Club of Rome published a report in 1972 in the name of Limits to Growth theory. So that limits to growth says that if you exploit natural resources with current pace, the entire world will collapse by end of 2100. That is the reason this is called Club of Rome and limits to growth. But sustainable development, the concept was proposed by Brundtland Commission in 1987. Okay, but it was declared in 2002. That is, concept was declared in 2002. Based on this concept, some socio-economic development goals were declared in 2012 Rio Plus 20 summit. Okay, so first is wrong. Second, the SDGs should be achieved by 2030. Yes, MDG from 2000 to 2015, that is Millennium Development Goals. Then SDGs from 2015 to 2030, another 15 years. Okay, what is confusion? Why you are saying both are wrong? So this is called the post 2015 development agenda. Next one, another question with reference to agreement at UNFCCC meeting in Paris 2015. Consider the following statement. Again, it is about Paris climate deal. Okay, the agreement was signed by all members of United Nations and it will go into effect in 2017. No, in 2016. First is wrong. Second, all the agreement aims to limit the greenhouse gas emission so that the rise in average global temperature by end of the century does not exceed 2 degree or 1.5 degree above pre-industrial level. Yes. And developed countries acknowledge their historical responsibility in global warming and committed to donate $1,000 billion a year from 2020. No, it is not 1,000 billion. So 1 is wrong, 3 is wrong, 2 only correct. Okay. So this is 2016 question. So we will discuss other years question later. Okay. First we will complete other topics so that you will have idea. Then we will discuss. Okay. So those who want to have that transcripts of this year interview, text me in Telegram. I will either in WhatsApp or Telegram. I will share it, and I will share the SDG document. That is and one more thing. That India's initiative for climate change, addressing climate change. Okay, I will share these 2 documents, or otherwise you can take it, no problem. Thank you. So we will meet in next week.